Hello and welcome everybody to the Fictive Fun stream. And super excited because tonight we are starting our campaign with Shadow the Demon Lord. And today we are joined by Lou, Dolan, and Darren. And we're going to go around the table and have everybody introduce themselves. And then we'll go back around and have everybody introduce their characters. So let's start with Darren. Darren, tell us a little bit about yourself.
It's true that my name is Darren. Let's see. I don't know. What's there to know about me? I'm a student. I go to school and do stuff, and sometimes I log onto the internet to make things up.
That's awesome.
Um,
That sounds like the life.
you can find me on Goodreads. That's about it. My username is Darren Brockes. That's my name.
Awesome. Thanks, Darren. All right, Dolan.
Hey there, I'm Dolan. I am known in the internet for not doing most of the things that I promised that I will do, like writing and stuff. You can find me on Dolanheim on Twitter and on the Gauntlet if you're there as Dolan.
Awesome. Thank you, Dolan. And Lou.
Hey, I'm Lou. I'm playing from very hot Australia right now. What do I want to say about myself? Probably I play with the Gauntlet tabletop RPG community, which we're all members of. And what else do I do? Play some music, draw some cute, weird pictures. That's about it.
Yes.
And now I'm here to use my imagination.
I love it. I love it. Yes, Lou does play music, and I'm sorry for the heat down there, but us northern hemispheres don't feel your pain right now. We may be on the cold side, depending on where we're at. Awesome. My name's Patrick. I'm also a member of the Gauntlet, and just started streaming. This is my second ever tabletop stream, so if I mess up, I'm sorry. I'll just go ahead and say that right out. But I'm also known online as Fictive Fun. I have a blog, fictivefun.com, and I'm on Twitter as Fictive Fun. So, yeah, Fictive Fun everywhere. And as you can see at the bottom of the screen, I got a nice little logo. We'll go back around and have everybody introduce the characters that you are playing in this corrupt world of Shadow of the Demon Lord. So, Darren, we'll start with you. Tell us about Blix.
Oh, Blix. Blix is a goblin who has the penchant of taking the genitalia of those he kills and turning them into jewelry. That's probably the most defining feature about Blix. Let's see. He escaped some religious persecution by murdering a priest, and now is hiding out in Jonah's attic.
You gotta love the random tables for Goblin character creation because of the crap they give you. Not to also mention that I think one of the defining features of Blix is that his hands are upside down.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
And if people are wondering what that means if you cross your arms like this on a normal person, it looks like this on Blix.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, Dolan, tell us about Jonah, or maybe Jojo. I don't know what people call Jonah.
He's Jonah to most people, but Jojo to his friends. He's like this depressed wreck of a man that they had this really hard life. So he's a human and ended up somehow owning a brewery that he turned into this decrepit inn where he hired two goblins to like help him rob people when they're too drunk to notice. And overall, he's just heavily in debt. He is trying to do anything he can to gather money. He's a very millennial character, I feel.
Oh, let's not bring the millennials into our world. There are no millennials. It's like the year 800, so
That's true.
they haven't reached their first millennium yet.
And they probably won't.
Awesome, sweet. Lou, let's hear about Skive.
Yes. Okay, so Skive, another goblin. This guy he's 3 foot high, which I think is like average goblin-y kind of height. He's skinny. He only has one remaining tooth. So he's kind of I think he's like 40 years old or something. So he's like getting on in goblin years. He's got a tapeworm that lives in his stomach that's kind of a pet that's called Frank. And an incurable skin condition. So he's pretty messed up looking. And comes from a clan of goblins called the Cold Hearts. Somewhere along the line, he started his life as a scavenger, which I think is another very goblin-y thing to do, kind of searching around for treasures. And I rolled up that he's a scholar of the military sciences, which I took to mean that he robs the graves of there's barrows south of town, like burial mounds. So, but I think maybe he's going to introduce himself as some sort of scholar, nevertheless, even if there's no real training there. Yeah. He worships the Goblin King, which is interesting, who I can't stop picturing as David Bowie, but I'm just going to combine that with a kind of goblin-y version of David Bowie. Yeah, anyway.
Would you believe me if I told you that the canon version of the Goblin King is David Bowie?
Would I believe you? I don't see why I shouldn't believe you, seeing as you seem to know a lot about it. But so he doesn't even have green skin? He's just David Bowie?
He is literally David Bowie from Labyrinth.
Fucking awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, Lou, I don't know if Dolan's pulling your chain or not, but I highly doubt that. But
I am telling the truth.
I am on board with the Goblin King looking somewhat like David Bowie.
I'm just imagining 3 foot high green skin David Bowie, but I can just imagine regular David Bowie.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's Skive.
The Goblin King definitely has one blue eye.
Sweet.
That's lovely.
All right, so let's just hop right in. So before we break this story into motion, I'm gonna say it's like probably about mid-evening, maybe around 10 o'clock at night. You got a few people in your tiny brewery / house / inn. I would say there's probably maybe 5 or 6 people in there, and I imagine Jonah, is somewhat taking care of these people. Where are the goblins at right now?
Are you asking where we're at in the tavern or
Yeah.
where we're at?
Are you like mingling? Are you hiding in the attic?
I think Skive is sitting up on the roof, smoking and looking down on the street.
Okay.
Probably in some sort of like lazy lookout kind of way. Like I'll probably go down. I can probably be bothered to go down and tell them if there's like guards hanging around or something, but also maybe not. I might just have a nap instead.
Sweet. Blix, what are you doing?
I think Blix is sitting on the counter in the main room, wiping down glasses with like a dirty rag.
Okay,
It doesn't matter to me.
so you're actually like working.
I'm working, yes.
Okay. So like you're probably freaking a couple customers out because like when you're like wiping out glasses, it looks weird because your hands are the wrong way.
No, it's like a double take thing, probably. Like, you wipe around, but it's just as like it's a backwards motion.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah.
People
Maybe
are
they look the right way because of the refraction of the light.
there you go.
I
Getting
keep the glasses pointed towards people.
getting the mirror effect on your upside down heads. It's great.
I probably use this as a selling point too. Like, are you freaked out by this? Have another drink. See if you forget about it.
But here's a tip. Do not play Blixing cards. Yeah, so Jonah, like, how do you usually go about the night? Like, when do you like try to shut people down from drinking and say, "Hey, look, if you're gonna crash here, um, now's the time,"
Well,
or how do you
I
cut
don't
people
think
off?
I discourage any drinking at all. Like if you pass out in my tavern, I will charge you for the night. So this is like something that's written on like a plaque on one of the walls. Like if you fall asleep here, you pay for the night, and that's
Sweet.
something that you have to agree to before you start drinking. So yeah, I'm not discouraging anyone. If
Oh,
anything, I'm encouraging everybody to drink more.
I love it. I love it. So yeah, you try to get everybody drop dead drunk so they pass out and have to pay a night's rent.
Yes.
Okay. Skive, you're on the roof, right? You're like kind of playing lookout slash weather vane on the roof of what was the name of the brewery bar, Dolan?
The lazy rooster.
The Lazy Rooster. That fits in with the weather vane theme too. So Skive, why don't you give me a perception roll?
Ooh. Okay.
First roll of the night.
Yes, your target number's 10, as for every number in Shadow of the Demon Lord.
I assume the boons and the bans are zeros.
Yeah, just flat.
Soup.
Ooh, boom, you nailed it.
Did I?
Yes, you did. Um, so
Oh
yeah,
that's big.
so Sky, from the roof of the tavern, you notice a little bit more movement in the streets than you would normally see. Um, like this time of night, most people are already indoors. Either they're in somewhere drinking or they're in their homes. But you notice some movement and some flowing clothing kind of dipping around the shadows below. And you're catching it from multiple directions.
Like there's multiple people moving around in um out of the ordinary flowing clothing.
Yeah, they have a bit of flowing clothing.
I'm gonna yell out to them from the roof.
What do you say?
Probably like I'm trying to think of my Skive version of nice clothes loser or something like that.
I love it. Yeah, so
What is the weather like here? Is
actually
it too yeah.
it's a very pleasant night. You're probably in about, I don't know, I would say early winter, but like this isn't like a colder region. You're closer to, a subtropical region, I guess you could say,
Yeah, cool.
than a more
Okay, I
temperate
think
region.
I'll yell out something I'm like, hey, you in the robes. You look super sus. Are you trying to sneak around? What is that? You stand out like dog's balls.
So yeah,
And that was the moment that Skive died. Sniped by some stranger.
Well, I'm on the roof, so they're gonna have to like.
right. So you see the movement kind of stop, and then you hear somebody yell out, and it's like a woman's voice. She's like, "All right, time for subtleties over, boys." And they light up their lanterns, and you notice there's about 6 or 7 of them, and they're all coming from like these different pathways and alleyways. See, Crossings is a very crowded place. There's a lot of pathways in between buildings, and you know, and I imagine like the Lazy Rooster isn't like on a main road. It's like on one of these little side street alleyways.
Yeah, definitely like on an alley and shit. It's a very small street. You have to like work to find it.
I love it. You have to look for the sign. Yeah, so they all light up these lanterns, and you just see all these lanterns flicker on around you as they approach. And one of them lifts the lantern up to her face, and you recognize that she is wearing a brown cloak. Okay. You all know the Brown Cloaks of Crossing are like the police force of Crossing.
okay, that was way more of them than I was expecting. So I'll totally like try to like scamper down inside. And I guess like, do the brown cloaks often come and raid taverns, or is this out of the ordinary?
You see the brown cloaks quite often in Coins, but Coins is a pretty tame district. You know, people are there to do business. They're there to buy stuff. Every once in a while, there would be a thief or something they have to chase down. But Coins is a pretty quiet area. Most of the brown cloaks spend their times in Purse, which is an even more quiet area. But that's where the money's at.
Yeah, cool. Okay, well, I'll run downstairs, and I guess I'll I guess I just screech out as I'm running down. I'm like, brown cloaks! There's heaps of them. They were trying to sneak up on us.
Question for my testicle like wearing goblin friend. Are you on the run from the law?
It's not really law if you don't accept their rule, right? I'm just working an honest job here.
I get this, but are you running away from dangerous people is what I'm trying to get at.
No, I've already ran away from them.
Okay. Hide behind the counter, please.
I think you just see like Blix fall back. There's no elegance. It's just
But keep cleaning those glasses. We need those. Just keep doing that. Just out of sight.
I think maybe Skive like takes over on the glasses from freaking
Blix.
and I got it. And just because I thought it would be funny if some super drunk patrons look up and suddenly the like goblin's hands are on the right way, and they're like, "What?" Because I'm assuming we all look the same to most people.
Yeah, they can't tell the difference. You might be a bit more splotchier because of your skin condition, but it's a goblin to them, you know. Yeah, so like you take your positions, and like one brown cloak comes in the front door. And see, the thing with brown cloaks is they usually carry around, you know, their lanterns, and they're usually equipped with spears. The ones that carry around swords are like higher up in rank. Um, Spears are cheap, so the newbies on the force, I should say, carry around spears. Well, this one comes in and is not carrying anything. Doesn't have a sword on his side, and so you know that this is probably a lower rank brown cloak. But he comes in, he steps inside the door, kind of slides off to the side a little bit, and just leans up against the wall. Now, all the people inside, which isn't many, but it's kind of feels crowded in there, look towards the brown cloak, and then they all look towards you, Jonah, like wondering, like, what is this?
Excuse me, sir. Are you thirsty? Do you need a drink? I have some like porridge on the back if you want some of that too.
He just nods his head.
No? Okay. You don't need to consume anything to stay here. It is a business. Can I get you anything at all? All right. I'll check on you later. Stay safe, buddy.
Yeah, he's just looking at you, and then you see he kind of looks over towards where Skive is, but doesn't like linger on Skive. Just then brings his gaze back to. He's just watching you, Jonah. And one of the patrons like throws money down and like quickly like hurries out the door like, oh shit, you know, this isn't the place I need to be right now, you know. Freaking brown cloaks back here in this alley. What are they doing? And then after a few minutes, another brown cloak comes in. And this is a woman. She has shortish brown hair. She's young, fairly attractive, fairly athletic. She's got a short sword on her side.
Do I know who she is?
Um,
I think I've been in Crossings like a while, but I don't know everybody. I probably just know people that I have seen. Is she like a high ranked person in the cloaks?
she's
Like,
not super high ranked, but she is an officer.
okay, okay. So I see her coming in, and it's like, ah, Captain, uh, welcome to the Lazy Rooster. Is there anything that I can do for you? Porridge, drink, anything?
Yeah,
Oh,
for right now, you can be quiet. I'm not a captain. I have not reached that rank yet. So just do me a favor and be
okay,
quiet for just 1 second.
okay.
After she says that, I'm looking down at Blix, like who's hiding under the counter, and like I kind of turn my back to the brown cloak, and I like do that kind of like mocking, like how she's talking down to Blix under the counter. I'm like, I'm not a captain.
I'll imitate Jonah back at you. Could I get you anything? Can I help you? Do you want something?
I slightly kick the both of you.
Only goblins would pantomime the situation while it's happening. That's hilarious.
I will like kick you and whisper to you like, shut up!
Don't blow your cover, Jonah.
So the sergeant is like, anybody that doesn't belong in this establishment, you know who you are, suggest you leave. And many of the patrons toss down coin. A couple of them don't toss down coin and just get up to walk out the door. And are y'all just watching, or
I think Jonah knows not to fuck with corrupt officials, so he's just like letting this go, trying to calm down. He's kind of afraid of this whole situation, to be honest.
Jonah, you're just gonna let him go without paying?
Shut the fuck up!
Who? They don't even have weapons. They're not even captains.
Did she have a sword? That's made out of iron! That can harm you!
Yeah, well, fuck iron. Never mind.
so as the last patron like files out, another brown cloak comes in. So there's now two of like the lower ranked ones, but they don't have any weapons. The two lower ranked ones, like they must have left their spears outside with the other brown cloaks. And then they close the door and they lock it. And and they look at you, Jonah, and the female officer is like, "Are you the owner of this place?"
I am.
So you must be the one they call Jojo?
My friends call me that. Yes.
So what do your non-friends call you?
Jonah. How should I address you?
I am Sergeant Elise.
Okay, Sergeant. I am Jonah, owner of this establishment. Is there anything that I can do for you?
Yeah. Number one, you can get me a beer. Number
I can do
two,
that. Uh-huh.
you're going to sit down right in front of me. Right here.
Okay. Sure. Do your other friends want beers too?
No, they're on duty.
Okay. And I look down at who's closest to me. Is it Blix or Skive?
Probably me. We don't know. He kicked me.
Okay, we'll be like, okay, stay there. And I like lean down a little bit under the counter, and I like pouring like some beer, and I'm like, okay, let me speak with them. You stay there.
Wait, don't you have poison? Just get rid of her.
Oh, no, wait. She's not a priest.
But I can kill more people than just priests.
No, it's fine. We don't need to kill these ones. It's fine. They just want to drink. And I like get up, and I don't. The place is pretty small. Even if we whispered, like, it's very likely that she listened to some of that. And it's like, here, Sergeant, here's your beer. And I go sit down in front of her.
I think perhaps like while you're doing that, Skive will go over with like a big friendly like one tooth like smile and be like hello, I haven't seen you in here before.
She looks at you, says, "Do you think I would ever come in here on my own volition?"
Well, why not? I mean, it's beer's beer, right?
She just gives you stale face.
It's actually not that bad a drink.
In
Yeah, the
fact,
beer's probably pretty good, right?
in fact, she looks at you, Skive, and she's like, "You can have a seat too."
He smiles at her and like drags the chair across which is probably as tall as him, right? Like across the floor with the like and the thing.
And then she grabs the beer. She holds it up. And she says the other goblin can come out too. The one with the bad hands. She takes a drink.
How did you hear from behind the bar? My hands are perfectly fine,
No,
but I don't come out.
he's shy.
Well, since this isn't the most massive, most glamorous establishment in Crossings, I'm sure he's fine back there. Because he can hear me, right?
What?
Exactly. So, let me tell you why I'm here. And then you could decide your fate at the end. I'll start with you, Mr. Jonah. She pulls out like this little notepad. So you took over this place from Mr. Mead.
Yes, he was my master.
Okay. How do you do in this place? Does it pay well?
We get by. It's not as fine as it could be, but we're doing fine. Thank you.
That's good to hear. It's good to hear. I'm glad to hear when people of Crossings do well. However, I am charging you with a crime tonight. Would you have any idea what that crime is?
I am afraid I do not. My taxes are in order. I pay everything on time. What's happening?
You are harboring a murderer.
Am I? Who?
The one that doesn't like to show their face.
The goblin?
I don't know
Yes.
what she's talking about.
So,
Have you? It's a goblin. They cannot kill anybody.
do you truly believe that?
Well, okay, fine. They could kill like rats and stuff, but people, goblins. Have you seen their frames? They can barely carry themselves.
This goblin killed a priest of the new god. Now, if you would rather me send Inquisitor Randolphus here to discuss this with you.
No, please, no. Of course not. I understand that that's not necessary.
So, this Blix has been accused of murder of a priest of the new god. And you, she points at you, Skive, I've been told by a member of the militia that you have been bringing in artifacts from the barrows.
There's no law against getting stuff from the barrows, is there? Those kings died a long time ago.
No, there is no actual law about bringing artifacts from the barrows into town. But there is a rule that when a member of the militia gives an order, that it should be followed, especially by goblins.
Oh, whoops. Sorry.
So these crimes, what are the sentences? What is usually dealt to crimes like these?
Well, those that steal from the barrows are usually subjected to exile to the dark wood, left to their own fate with the beastmen there. Murder, especially that of a priest of the new god, is decided by the Inquisition. And you know how that usually ends.
Yes.
For you, we may go lenient on you, since maybe you didn't know about your goblin roommates here. We'll just send you to the Desolation to help protect.
Oh, to the Crusaders. It's okay. Fine. Okay, that's not too bad.
But that's not my decision. That's up to the council. But however, I'm here to give you each an escape plan from this bullshit. Because it's obvious you didn't have an escape plan for this place.
Don't trust a cop.
It is not my call only now. It's all of us. You can come out. They can hear you.
I'm going to if she's looking right at Jojo, I'm gonna try and get up and sneak over to the door in front of everyone.
She, as you start to move, she looks at you and she's like, "Really?"
Just like,
Yeah, she's like, "Really?" She's like, "Number one, you have one way out." She looks back at the door. On the other side of that door are 4 other Brown Cloaks, ready to kill anything that comes out of this place before me.
Well, I guess we're getting blackmailed then. Hey.
Can I also try to sneak? Is there enough room, I guess, actually? Because do I have enough leeway here to do a sneaky around someone?
You know what? I'll let you do the roll for sneak.
Okay.
But however, this place is so tiny and sound travels so easily, you're going to have to do it with 2 banes.
Ooh, ah. All right. I get 1 boon for being a gerblin. So I will do
How do you
1
help?
bane.
Like, can I have helped by like trying to sneak myself and distracting her at the same time?
Well, see, you may have distracted her, but you didn't distract the other 2 that are standing by the front door.
Yeah, good point.
door. All right. Okay. This is an agility roll, right? Is
Yes.
that how it works? Okay. All right. Let me click the button. -1 for Banes. Submit. Ooh.
Yeah, so you manage to sneak. Now, I want to know where you're sneaking to. Because all this is like stairs and a table and a few chairs.
We did establish that Skive came out of the roof because there's a passage from the attic to the roof, apparently.
I want to sneak behind one of the other guards, not behind the sergeant, but behind one of her guards. And I am going to try to murder him. I'm a murder goblin.
Okay.
Oh my god, this is gonna go so bad.
We're dead.
So
We're going to the desolation, baby.
I don't know. If you're fighting these guys, you may not even make it there. You may not even make it out the door.
That's a good point.
So, yeah, you're able to sneak up to the roof. Okay, I'm gonna stop you there on that.
All right.
You're gonna be on the roof right now, in the same position that Skive was at before. I'm gonna jump back to the scene inside. And the door opens, and you see another brown cloak come in, but they're dragging somebody else. And the person they are dragging is Anton Butcher.
Oh no.
For the other goblins that may not be familiar, Anton is a friend of Jonah.
What's the meaning of this? What has he done?
The brown cloak like slams him down in the chair and is like holding him down. Even though like Anton's not really struggling, this brown cloak's just being, a little bit extra brutal. So, I'm going to tell you a little story. Do any of you know who Father Gregory is? And the correct answer isn't the priest that your friend behind the bar there, not knowing that you're not behind the bar anymore, murdered.
Is he a local priest? Okay. But why is that relevant? Has he killed anybody?
So, recently there's been some disappearances and grievings. Now, you may be saying, well, it's grievings. Why would the brown cloaks care about anybody disappearing in grievings, right?
Because it's your job?
Yes, it is my job. And I was actually assigned to look into these disappearances. Okay? But however, I was pulled off the job. We were told the lives in grievings ain't worth a few people disappearing. Shit, that whole section of town is just full of drunkards, killers, gangs. Why would we want to save anybody there? But that was until Father Gregory disappeared. Father Gregory is the cousin of Father Paulus, who is the father, the new god, that sits on the council.
So he's somebody important and he's disappeared. And you're talking to us because you need help?
Anton, why don't you tell your friend here why I came here? So Anton looks at you, Jonah, and says, Jonah, I'm sorry, I was so scared. I was so scared.
It's all right, honey. You can calm down now. Do you want some beer or have someone back?
No, I don't want anything. Look, I borrowed money from the wrong people.
We have all been there. It's fine. We can work this out. Who did you borrow money from?
The guild. The Thieves Guild.
Anton, what the fuck? Of all the people that you could have stolen, I didn't say stolen, taken money from, you chose them? Are you insane?
I didn't have to jump through any hoops to get it. It was so easy. This other goblin, not you, looking at Skive. This other goblin just came up to me and just offered it to me like my very own butcher shop, Jonah. Just like you have your own brewery, my own butcher shop.
Anton, you dumb piece of brick. Who is this goblin and why is that related to anything that's happening here?
His name is Grinny, okay? And he just gave me the money. I asked, and it was like an hour later I had the money to buy my own shop. And this was a few weeks back, and now he wants his first payment. I'm not even up and running yet. Look, I saw Grinny and a few other members of the Thieves Guild sneaking around Grievings, and I saw them beat up somebody. And I found Sergeant Elise and I told her. and they arrested Grinny. But, the Thieves Guild, it's not like he can, they're keeping him quiet while he's locked up.
Do they know you spoke?
It's the Thieves Guild. They know everything.
Okay. Okay, Anton. You realize the mess that you got us in, right?
Yeah, now I do.
Now you do. Okay. I'm gonna try to calm down, Anton. Sergeant,
Yes.
what exactly do you need me to do? How can I help?
So, as you know, my boss, well, you may not know my boss, but my boss is also a member of the council. His name's John Crawley. He's the head of the Brown Cloaks, and he's a piece of crap. I want him off the council, and I have somebody on the council that may help me make that happen. And that person happens to be missing a cousin that disappeared recently. I am not allowed to go investigate it. I've been pulled off the case.
You want us to investigate for you. That way you're not implicated. And if I do, you help Anton.
We'll do what we can. And we'll do what we can for you. Father Paulus. I mean, if a priest of the new god lets a murderer off the hook, we're good.
Okay. Skive. Can you help?
What are we doing? We're looking for
We're looking for a missing priest. Well, I am. I don't know. Can you help me with this?
I mean, I guess we don't have much choice, but do we?
You see Sergeant Elise shaking her head.
Apparently not. Okay. Blix, what do you think? You're an expert on these kinds of things, apparently.
Blix, you could hear that, but you're on the roof.
Blix suddenly drops down and murders one of the guards.
So let's cut to Blix. Blix, you hear that? What do you do?
Is this maybe where I trip and fall and then the guards outside drag me in?
Okay, yeah, sure. I mean, do you want to frame that in another way? Like, are you actually trying to murder one of these guards and just fail miserably?
Yeah, I like that. I'm creeping. I got my little garrote or however you say it. And I'm creeping up to the edge and I'm peering down and then a shingle slides or something. And I just face plant in front of one of them.
That's hilarious. Yeah, and yeah. You're like, who roofed this place? Yeah, so as soon as Jonah yells out that about Blix, Blix, what do you think? You see this Brown Cloak come in the front door, just carrying Blix in one arm and just drops him and tosses the garrote in front of you.
When the fuck did you got out?
Well, then we could have taken him.
Why are you like this?
I don't like to be held down by these oppressive power structures.
Okay, Blix, we need to find a priest. You apparently are an expert on situations regarding priests. Hopefully not killing this one.
I don't like their kind much.
Okay. You understand that we need to find this priest or they will burn you alive, right?
Oh, I see. This isn't really a question.
No! We're being forced into this.
And I'm gonna grab my garrote and I'll cross my arms, palms out.
Of course.
He'll work, Sergeant. It's okay. I do have a question. You realize that we are for lack of a better term, civilians. I don't have like weapons and stuff to deal with somebody that kidnapped a priest. Can I borrow some of that? Alone, please.
Oh, I'm sure you're, if you're practical enough to open a brewery, hire 2 handy goblins to do your work, I'm sure you'll do just fine. Now, I'm sure, just like any good investigator, you have some questions about the disappearances of Grievings. So you 3, ask away.
I will let Blix handle this. You seem to know about these things, buddy.
She looks at your hands, Blix. She doesn't look at you in the eyes. She looks at your hands.
Up here, lady.
Oh, yes. Do you have a question?
Where? I think all we need to know.
Where is the priest?
Where did this priest usually sleep?
He slept at his temple in Grievings. It's not really a temple. It's more of a shrine with a small room attached.
And you're telling me he's not at his temple?
Absolutely.
I don't know about this one, Jonah. This is it might be uncrackable.
Okay, when was he last seen?
I spoke to him 2 days ago about the disappearances in Grievings. Okay, so Father Gregory isn't the first person to disappear there. There's been a slew of them.
Do you think he might have angered whomever was behind the other disappearances?
I don't think he knew. But see, when I told him I was being pulled off the job, he said the new god would lead him on the right path to finding who was doing this. Father Gregory is a good man. He is the only priest of the new god that would even be caught dead in Grievings.
He was, of course, doing Astrid's work, but we need more than that. Is there anybody that spoke to him last before he went missing? Who reported the disappearance to begin with? Can we have an address where we can search his belongings and stuff? See if there's any clues there?
Yeah. I mean, you can search his quarters at the shrine, which is just on the border of Grievings.
Skive's eyes light up because he was hoping he would get to rummage through the priest's possessions and see if there was any cool stuff that he'd left behind.
Father Gregory was such an honest, giving man. He never locked his quarters. He didn't need to. People of Grievings love him.
I don't doubt it. Perhaps we should start there. You are an adept at this, I suppose. You're certain, and I assume that you got your promotion because of the quality of your work. Do you have any possible leads? Do you have any idea who might have happened?
So, let me start from the beginning. Okay. About a week ago, okay, somebody mentioned to me about a young boy named Trout that had gone missing. Now, Trout is an orphan that lives on the streets of Grievings, okay? Now, what's special about Trout is that everybody loves the kid. He collects rocks and makes it into art and sells them to people. Just a little dirty orphan street kid. Why should anybody care about that? But when I asked, he wasn't the first. There was 2 others before him. And since then, there's been 3 more, and that's not even including Father Gregory. Something bad is going down in Grievings.
Okay, so 6 victims. Okay, we perhaps could go to ask about Trout, people that knew him, see if there's any clues about that. Uh, Skive, Blix, ideas?
Are we gonna have to close the bar down? How are we gonna live?
We don't have to close the bar down. Anton will take care of this bar for us.
What?
Nobody will think that he's here.
What?
Just
Me?
close the door. Yes.
Okay. Okay. I want to be by myself. I want to be so scared here by myself.
I could stay with you if you like, Anton.
Skive tries to give him a reassuring smile with only one tooth.
I, I guess I don't know. I mean, could be worse.
Sergeant, I do have one last question for you. You wouldn't happen to have any pieces of the priest, would you?
Is that a serious question?
I
We're
asked
hoping
you,
you
is that a
bring
serious question?
we're hoping you bring the priest back to us in one piece.
Well, sure, but if you bandage, just lose some pieces, what's the harm, right?
She stands up. Thank you for a not so enthralling evening, gentlemen. We will be on our way.
We will take care of this. It's fine. Don't listen to the goblin. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, so like they all filter out the door, and she like takes one look back at you all.
By the way, the drink was a penny.
Yeah, so like the door like closes, and you see one copper penny come flying through the door. Just like right before it closes, just one copper penny comes flying through the crack.
Yes, 1 penny.
Sweet, awesome. All right, so before we move into another scene, perhaps once you guys figure out exactly what you're gonna do to try to find the priest, let's go ahead and take us a 5-minute break since we've been going for about an hour, and then we'll come right back and jump right into your investigation.
Fantastic.